Visualizing Cultures is really your textbook for the course. And we've done a number of MOOCs using some of the units there. You could bear in mind that we really had to invent this thing called Visualizing Cultures and decide what it should be. And the idea, I know from John, was he always was very interested in using images as scholarship. But if you make a print book, you're allowed maybe 5 or 10. They're very expensive and difficult to reproduce. And his idea was he wanted to use all of them, anything, as much as he wanted. And the digital supports that. What we had to do in creating Visualizing Cultures was make it scalable so that we could continue to add units. It wasn't just a one-off, but we could add units and add authors. And that became a very highly collaborative project. So we were very lucky to work with many wonderful scholars from different disciplines, like Jim Ulak. And they all took different approaches. So it was really guided by the images themselves. We started in Japan, which is John's area of expertise, with the arrival of Commodore Matthew Perry. And I'll demo the menu for you, just so you understand how to use it. And expanded from there. And each historian and art historian and scholar that we worked with brought something different to the project. And now it's all together in one format, which is quite uniquely comparative, again, and interesting in its own way. URL for the project is visualizingcultures.mit.edu. We did a kind of icon-based menu with little rollovers because we wanted you to see how it was visual right from the beginning. And this is the first unit, Black Ships and Samurai by John, comparing the two sides of the encounter with Commodore Perry in Japan. It expands from there and goes loosely chronologically forward. If you don't like using a icon menu, some people don't, we also have a text menu available. So it's a regular table of contents. So you could choose either of those. And then you just navigate to the unit that we're working with. And here you see essay by Jim Ulak. And the Visualizing Cultures used traditional essay formats to keep it connected to the world of history, which is a largely textual form of expression. But we also added something called visual narratives. And those are image-driven sequences where you can really look closely at the images themselves and let them tell the story with captions. I think another great thing about the Kiyochika unit is that we actually have a video tour with Jim Ulak down in Washington, D.C. So this is just an example of one of the units and how to use that.
We should add, Ellen, that Visualizing Cultures began by focusing on Japan and is very strong on Japan. And it focuses on Japan in the modern world, but we quickly expanded to include China as well. Right. So it's really Japan and China in the modern world, and we also have a very powerful unit which is also available as a MOOC or reformatted as a MOOC on the Philippines. So it's not just a Japan project, it's an Asia project in the modern world. And it is both graphics coming out of these countries and the world as it is depicting these countries. It's very dynamic.